Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Polyhedron Collidecast episode 17.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year, everyone.
Word.
Episode 17 is the first one in 2017.
That's almost like we planned it. But
No. We didn't plan that. There's no chance we planned that.
You're ruining it.
We're in the future now. 2017, that sounds like the future.
It should be, shouldn't it?
We should have had hoverboards 2 fucking years ago as well.
And where's my jetpack?
Yes. Hoverboards and jetpacks. God damn it.
On the other hand, we do have lots of board games.
We do.
We do.
It seems that the future was not high technology, but was in fact cardboard.
And plastic.
Yes. So, we have had a bit of a break. In our last episode, which was the last episode we'd done normally in about 3 weeks, was our best of 2016. A normal catch-up episode was actually a month before that.
Wow. We've been slack.
So we have been slack. It's my fault. I moved house.
Yeah, still you.
Blame it on me. Yeah,
Blame
blame
you.
it all on me. Yeah.
We will.
So we've had plenty of time over Christmas to play loads of board games.
Yes, and, well, we would have done if you two hadn't have got galloping knob rot and bailed out.
I had really bad man flu. I nearly died.
So severe.
Yeah, I don't get ill very often, but when I get ill, I get really, really ill.
Yeah.
I had a cold for about 3 days. I'm not going to pretend it was flu. Everyone keeps telling me, oh, it's flu, it's bad. No, it was a cold. But I was basically incapacitated for Christmas Day, Boxing Day, the day after, and the day after that. It ruined my Christmas.
And not by booze for once.
Yeah.
How disappointing.
It was very disappointing.
I had a very similar experience. Yeah, not good.
So we didn't get any gaming over Christmas. So we've tried to make up for it today.
Yes.
Our plan was to start at 9 a.m.
And then you turned up at 11.
Andy and I were ready.
We were. Sat here drinking tea, waiting for you to show up.
Yeah, I've got no excuse. I turned up late. I had other stuff that happened in the morning. It's being an adult, really, isn't it? It's
Still moving house. Can you not just get over that stuff?
Well, I really do want the stuff there. It's terrifying. Anyway, so this morning we did play a game.
We did.
Just for you, dear listener. Well, no, it was for us, really. We played Doom.
We did play Doom.
And it did feel like we were doomed for quite a lot of that.
It did, yeah. So this is the new version of the Doom board game, which is the second edition of it.
Yes, because they made one for sort of Doom 3,
Yeah.
which looked similar.
I think it's very, very similar. I think this is just revised and updated.
Yeah, they basically updated it for the recent video game release of
Yeah.
2016 as well. I'm quite impressed that they've managed to get this out in the same year, because the computer game was only released in 2016, about halfway through. So getting the board game out for basically the end of 2016.
Just released just in time for Christmas, wasn't it?
I think it was released slightly earlier. It's probably June.
No,
Give or
the
take.
board
the
game.
board game, yes,
Yeah.
sorry, yes it was. Yeah, I got it just before the Christmas break.
Okay.
So yeah, it was shipped sort of from Fantasy Flight in America in late November, I think, give or take, or something like that, and it got to shelves in sort of early December time. So by the time it sort of got put in the post and all that sort of jazz, it was just for Christmas, which is quite good, really. I think I was getting twitchy because I pre-ordered it in October time. Oh, am I going to get it? Am I going to get it? Because I kept getting updates. Going, yeah, it's in the shelf. It's on its way. It's on its way. I was like, it's nearly Christmas. Get it to me before Christmas. I was like, no. Oh, it did. Way.
And then he didn't play it.
No, I did. I did play it.
So Doom is a one versus many board game.
Yep.
So you've got one person plays the demons, the rest of the players become the Marines.
Space Marines.
Yeah. Doom Marines.
And if you've played any of Fantasy Flight's other dungeon crawl-like games, so Descent or Imperial Assault, it's very, very similar. There's enough of a difference to say it's a different game, but there's also a lot of similarities.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely tell it's Fantasy Flight.
Quite a few similar mechanics.
Yeah. I think it's a bit simpler than Imperial Assault because Imperial Assault has lots of different ways you can activate and lots of different ways you have to work out the range of a shot in a different way you roll the dice. This is just a simple, you roll the dice and the number of dice have got hits on them. So it's you move, you shoot, but the what I really like about it, it's not just a simple case of move and shoot. It's you have a hand of cards which represent your guns, and you have to choose an action card and then can play bonus actions. So your action may be let rip with your assault rifle, or run up to someone and shoot them with a shotgun in the face.
Yeah, and most of the gun cards have a certain amount of movement attached to them as well. So you can move a little bit and then shoot, or you can shoot and then move a little bit.
Yeah, and some of them have no movement,
Yep,
and some of them are just sprinting, so you're just running and not shooting at all.
that's it.
Yeah, that's basically it.
And in between all the shooting, the Marines' objectives, generally you have to rush around this little map and you have to try and collect some tokens and bring them back to the teleporters.
That's the
Yes,
that's the
one
mission
of them.
we played,
Yeah,
isn't it?
there's another one where you essentially just have to find objectives. So the objective tokens are essentially pinned to portals, which is where the demons spawn, and then the invader player can attach those objective tokens to a demon that spawns in that portal. So then the Marines have to kill the demon, pick up the objective token, and then job done.
Yeah, whereas the demons, their sole objective is just to kill all
murder.
kill all humans.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yes. It's generally get a number of frag the Marines, because the Marines respawn if they're killed, but obviously have to teleporter, so they still go back to square one, but they keep their weaponry. But the demons are finite, they don't keep respawning. So once you run out of portals, that's it. So
Yeah, and we basically won the game. We just played. Me and John were playing the Marines,
Yep.
and Andy was the demons, or the invaders, as they're called. Sorry.
yes.
And we basically won by killing everything in the end.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
There was nothing left.
No.
Except
Yes.
one Marine who...
Well,
one turned Marine who gave up and ran
It
away.
was one Marine we called at that point because it was just a case of two of us against him, and we're going to kill him.
You had a chainsaw and John had a Gauss cannon, and I thought this was probably an unfair fight.
Yeah. The other thing is, based like the video game itself, you can pick up weapons. So you start off with a couple of basic weapons. You start off with this basic deck,
Yep.
and each player picks a different
Loadout.
loadout,
Yeah.
basically. So you start off with slightly different weapons.
So
But-
someone might get a shotgun, someone might get the pulse rifles.
Yeah.
It gives a bit of variety like that.
yeah. So I think I started off with an assault rifle and a shotgun.
And I had a pulse rifle and a
Plasma gun.
plasma gun. Thank you.
But you can pick up med packs, grenades, and other weaponry.
Yeah,
As you go
all
through.
the weapons from the computer game are represented in the game. But as you say, not all of them are available at the start. You have to pick them up by running through
Yeah.
the UAC offices, labs, hell. And there is even a BFG, although we didn't have it in our game.
No, we had the chain. We had several weapons, but we picked up the chainsaw and the Gauss gun. Was it you had?
Yeah, that's right.
The chainsaw was a lot of fun.
That
Yes.
was epic.
Bastard. It just made mincemeat of the demons. It was
What?
insane.
What's really cool about this game is once you've done a certain amount of damage to a demon, you can move onto their space and insta-kill them.
Yes.
I think it calls it a gory kill or glory
A glory kill.
Glory
yeah,
kill.
so you do enough damage to a demon to make it staggered. And this happens in the video game as well. They flicker sort of orangey colour in the game, and then you sort of run up to them and just sort of knee them in the bollocks or do whatever you need to do to them. And yeah, it insta-kills them. And then in the computer game, it usually spawns additional health or a bit more ammo, and if you've got the right upgrades, you get some armour as well. In the board game, this is represented by you draw a card, which gives you a bonus of some description that you can move faster, recover. You almost always recover health.
Yeah.
And it can give you additional bonus actions as well. So it is quite faithful to the PC game. I say PC, I've got it on the PC. I don't play it on the console.
The video game.
The video game.
I quite like the way when you pick up a weapon, and one of the weapons you find lying around, like the chainsaw or the Gauss rifle, the cards that come with that weapon, you get 3 of them, and they tend to work really well together. So, for example, on the Gauss cannon, whatever it was called, you've got something that allows you to do a kind of siege mode, where basically you stand very still, and it gives you an extra 3 points of damage for each card you use.
Yes.
And bear in mind that the Gauss gun already does something. It's definitely a high power.
Yeah, it's got
gun.
5 dice on it. It's 4 red and 1 black. So,
Yeah, 5 dice, and they're pretty good, pretty high scoring dice, and it's got a range of 12. And things you shoot at don't get any chance to defend against it.
Yeah,
So if you've got everything in your sights, you just line them up. Whatever you aim at's gonna go.
It's going to get
Or
turned
very-
into a nice big red cloud of vapour. Yes.
Or even the really tough ones, you're at least going to take it down to very few hit points, where you can just toss a small grenade and that's it.
Yes, you made short work of the Baron of Hell, which I was hoping to lay serious smackdown on Steve, but unfortunately, no. The Gauss cannon had other ideas.
We'd go a bit Benny Hill with him though,
Yes.
because we were using the teleporters and drew the Baron of Hell, and he ran towards one end of the map, and then we all teleported to the other, so we had to run all the way back.
Yeah.
So there was a bit of
Come here, you little bastards.
as this giant demon is running around the map after us.
It's quite handy as well that you could pop through a teleporter, pop out the other side, take a few shots, and then pop back through the teleporter before anyone got a chance to.
Yeah. Now, bear in mind that what you have to do as well, you can't just use these teleporters, you have to activate them first. And you did do a suicidal run to activate one of these teleporters first.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, that was fun, yeah. So John sort of ran into a room, turned the teleporter on, at which point sort of 5 demons spawn, one of which was a mancubus, which was large, and basically splattered John's brains across the rear wall,
Yeah,
which was very satisfying.
There was just John Paste in the corner.
Yes. Has he teleported? No, we've just vaporised him. Excellent.
As you know, don't tell, we had quite a lot of fun with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I'm glad you guys liked it because I'm very keen on the video game. I think it's a really good recreation of the original Doom. Bethesda have obviously with id Software's engine have I think successfully recreated the feeling of Doom because Doom was always run around blindly shooting the crap out of everything. There wasn't much thought involved. And obviously the weapons didn't have any reloading and all this sort of stuff. There's just basically monster spam sandwiches everywhere. And you just run around, and it's very similar in the modern versions of 2016. So Doom 3 was quite sort of claustrophobic and dark. And
Well, Doom 3 was the one when you couldn't shine a light and shoot the gun at the same time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's the future, but you've not got any gaffer tape.
No,
Yes.
no, indeed. But this one is a lot more fast-paced. You can see what's going on. There aren't many monster closets. There are a few things that jump out at you now and again, but generally speaking, you can hear them coming.
Yeah.
But it's fast, shooty fun, basically, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And I think the board game does a very good recreation of that.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was fast.
No,
There was a little bit tacticalness to it, which makes it an interesting board game. So there's a little positioning in that, which I think slowed it down a little bit, so it wasn't quite that fast action. But it didn't. It produced a great board game. So you had the tactics and the strategy, but I think it was a little bit slower and a little bit more deliberate. And I think we both had that as well because it had that Fantasy Flight thing of you had several cards in your hand and several tokens you could spend. Especially you as the invader player, you had these little agent tokens that you could activate special abilities on cards. If you've played the original Mansions of Madness, it's basically the threat tokens. I think it is from that. Re-implemented, and so there's a lot of shall I do this or should I do that or should I do this? So it slowed it down a little bit, but that also made it fun when you could actually chain together some of those combinations. Right, I'm going to do this card, then this card, then this card, then this card, which was great for both of us because I think we only played with 2 Marines, so we had a slight balance in action as we could take 2 major actions a turn. So it means we could actually combo more together.
Yeah, essentially it turned your 2 Marines into 4 Marines because you could both activate twice. So the idea is that, with fewer than 4 Marines, there are cards that balance the action. So for example, if there's only 1 Marine, you get to activate him twice as a matter of course. So he can do twice as much, and he gets extra stuff as well. So depending on there's a balancing level depending on the number of Marines, which is quite useful.
I'd really like to play it with more people actually, because I think that'd be quite a different game. Because if you're just a Marine, you get to have many more actions with just the 2 players.
Yeah.
Which means that you can then plan I can do this one and then I can do that one and then I've got some bonus actions as well. Whereas if there's more people in there, although you've got more backup, there's more people to have a go. You don't get the same kind of I can do this and then I can do that and I can run through that teleporter and escape.
Yeah, no, it's going to be more like a case of I've got 1 shot to take.
I've been through it on my own with 4 Marines, and it is different. I think, in a way, you've actually got more of an advantage with fewer Marines because of the balancing actions. As you say, you get to do basically more damage in your single action.
And you can combo more things together, I found.
Whereas the 4 Marines, as you alluded to, John, you can't so much. Obviously, you spread the demons out more, so there's sort of fewer demons per Marine, as it were. So the demons can't do quite as much damage necessarily, although they've got more targets to choose from. So it is an interesting sort of shift in power, actually. I think the Marines are actually more powerful, rightly so, obviously, possibly slightly too powerful with fewer of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I think I've alluded to this earlier. If you've played any Fantasy Flight dungeon crawler type game over the last few years, I would say everything in this game would feel familiar. I wouldn't say there's anything in this game which is new or original.
Apart from the miniatures.
I meant gameplay wise, I meant mechanics. Sure. I didn't feel there's anything in here where I kind of went, ooh, that's interesting. That's clever.
I would agree.
It kind of felt like that. and this is a bit of a criticism of Fantasy Flight at the moment, all their games are starting to feel like a mashup of all their other games. Now, it's still well put together. It's still a really fun game. It still flows. And as you said, the miniatures are amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree with that. As I said, as I said before, you can definitely tell it's a Fantasy Flight game. And I don't just mean because it's expensive, got lots of miniatures and very pretty cardboard in. It's got a lot of very similar mechanics.
But those miniatures are amazing.
Yeah.
You're
It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. All of it's gorgeous.
It is.
Yeah.
But the miniatures in particular are... I mean, I don't know how you paint them. That's going to be a challenge.
I was looking at them thinking they'd be really nice to paint because the detail on it was so deep, if that makes sense. So the definition, so a nice ink wash or a...
Oh, yeah, you get a lot of shadowing on them.
It's going to pick up that detail amazingly.
It'll be very, very hard to paint, I think.
Just getting into like the mouth of the KK.
Sorry, that's what you mean, getting into the detail, yes.
Yeah. But yeah. I think maybe you just need to paint them from the inside out almost.
Well, that's one of the recommended ways of painting.
Yeah.
Start on the bits that are difficult to get to, and you can also make them darker as well, and then you come out.
Yeah.
So sorry, you were saying, Andy.
But yeah, it is familiar in more than one way. You sort of open the book, you've got the two different sides of Fantasy Flight cards in there that are all very familiar. You've got the baby ones and the bigger ones, the thickness of the cardboard, the way it's printed, the way it all fits together. You obviously got the two rule sets that they're very keen on these days, so the learn to play and the rule reference. So it's all very familiar, but it does work.
Yeah, it does come together really nicely.
And as with all Fantasy Flight games, there's a reasonable amount of ambiguity in a number of the rules.
Yes, there's a few things that are slightly unclear. I mean, one of the rules actually is the dual attack that you have with some of the weaponry. Now, this affects both the Marines, like the assault rifle you had, Steve, for example, does this, and the Revenants, which we didn't have in our game, but they can dual attack as well. And it's unclear, as it said, because the way it's worded, it says you can attack again, or you can perform another attack with this. Now, it doesn't specify whether it has to be the same target or whether you can do a different target.
Yeah.
So it's unclear because the different attacks are actually worded in different ways, which makes it even more unclear. I generally take the approach of you can attack something else, but it depends on how it's worded.
That's the way I interpreted it, to be fair, as well.
Yeah.
I agree, they've come a long way. I mean, even 5 years ago, their rule books were much worse, and were much worse written. But you're right, there's still... It's like we had a discussion about the stunned rule.
Yes.
Because we weren't quite sure which order things went off in, because we weren't quite sure if someone remained stunned, because an attack removed the stun, but the attack that person had done added the stun. So did that mean that they remained stunned, or whether it means you can only have one activating?
And there's a rule in there that says you can't be re-stunned.
Yeah.
Does that mean that you can't be stunned twice at the same time?
I think the exact wording was you can't be stunned twice.
So you can't stack your stuns.
Yeah.
But given that an attack removes a stun, but then the attack actually generates one as well.
Does that mean they're still stunned? We played it, they were still stunned.
Yeah.
But it's. I remember when Descent came out, the stunned one was the one that caused the most confusion in that one as well. It ended up being really easy. It was just the wording that was on the card. It was a little bit kind of... It could have been interpreted two ways.
Yeah.
And as I said, they've come a long way, but it's still a bit of a problem in some of their rule books. But
we got through it, and it was a good. It's a really good fun game. Yeah. And I have to admit, for the price I paid for it, I'm very impressed.
How much was that again, Andy?
I paid £58.
Yeah.
So you paid an online price for that, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I didn't get it, and presumably I didn't get it RRP. For the price I paid, I think what you get in the box is actually really, really good value. As we've said, the miniatures are stunning.
For £60, I mean, there's quite a lot of replayability there, even on the missions that we've already played. I don't think it would be a problem replaying.
Absolutely not. No,
it would end up differently every time. I think.
I think so. Yeah.
The good thing is the campaign book and the rules reference both actually outline how you can build your own campaigns as well. So you don't have to stick to the ones in the book.
Okay.
So there are rules about basically making your own decks. You just basically choose your weapon loadout, so it's easy for the Marines to build their decks, and you can make your own campaign. Because the event cards that the invader player has, the ones that basically determine what actions the demons can take, there are 6 sets. So like you guys have got sets for each weapon. There are sets of power cards essentially for the demons. Now I was using 3 of them, and it's generally used 3 sets of the 6 in each scenario. So you can build and customize a deck that way. So you can, basically go all out, or you can be a bit more defensive, or whatever it is. You can obviously build your own maps, so there's almost infinite replayability there as well. So there is a lot of customization, I think. So there's a lot of replayability, as you say, John. So it's, from that point of view as well, it's an excellent value game, I'd say.
I'd add one last point about the game as well. The game reminded me of Space Crusade.
Yeah. See, I thought of Space Hulk, but now you've said Space Crusade, yeah.
And it felt like a modern version of Space Crusade. And the weird thing is, I've got Imperial Assault, which is the Star Wars game, which is similar. But it didn't feel like Space... That doesn't feel like Space Crusade. You can argue it's the same kind of thing. It's a map, you've got troops moving around, you've got Jedis and Stormtroopers. But there was something about the feel of this game.
Yeah.
It's that underlying feel of you're moving through this map, grabbing an objective, run through a door, and at the same time you're spawning all these monsters, and
wave after wave.
Yeah, wave after wave, and shooting, mowing down as many of these creatures as possible. It really did remind me of Space Crusade. I played Space Crusade this time last year, I think it was the original, and I would say that game's much lighter than Doom is. But Doom felt like a grown-up version of that of the old Space Crusade.
I can see what you mean with that. I would agree with that.
Sensibility, and that's what I think. That's the biggest seller for me of Doom.
Yeah.
If you want to play Space Crusade, go play Doom.
Yeah. It's definitely a good thing.
Yeah,
the similarities are definitely it's something that we cherish.
Yeah.
I'm a bit disappointed they didn't have any Hell Knights in the game, but obviously they're going to be limited on the miniatures they can produce, just both in terms of number and value and all this sort of stuff.
Expansions.
Good point, yes. I'll give you that, yeah.
If it sells well enough, there'll be expansions.
I genuinely hope they do.
Demons,
I genuinely hope, because the Hell Knights are actually quite annoying to kill in the video game. So, and they're good figures as well. But there's other monsters as well in the games, because there's all the different types of soldiers. There's possessed people. There's the Hell Knights. It's
FFG. There's going to be expansions.
Yeah.
I really hope there will.
Let's be honest.
So that'll be cool.
We all like Doom then.
I think we do, yeah. Very good.
It's another one on the few that all three of us absolutely loved.
Yeah, I'm glad you two liked it. I thought you would, because it's just well put together. I think there's
it was great.
Very, very little to criticise, I think.
And the one game we did manage to play, that was me and John managed to play over Christmas, was one of the most hyped games of 2016.
Yeah.
Which was Mechs versus Minions.
I enjoyed it.
So, if you have not heard of this before, this is the game developed by Riot Games. So another video game link. So this is the video game episode at this point. So Riot Games, the people who created League of Legends, which is apparently the most popular video game ever.
Yeah, I was surprised when you told
And the
that.
most profitable video game ever.
Well done.
Yeah, well done. So Mechs vs Minions is a board game in their League of Legends world. So I would say it's based very loosely. It's almost like a tower defense kind of game.
Yeah.
So you've got objectives, and then you've got waves of minions approaching you.
Yeah.
And the way you play the game is you program your mech. And if you played Roborally, it's similar to Roborally with a couple of tweaks.
That's it. I would describe this game as tower defense meets Roborally.
Yeah.
That's it in a nutshell. Perfectly.
That sounds really good.
It is good.
It's really
I'm
good.
so jealous you two got to play it and I haven't yet. So.
Well, I almost didn't get to play it.
Yeah, you had an incident before Christmas, wasn't there?
What did you do, Steve?
Right, so let's tell the full story. As we've mentioned, I moved house just before Christmas, and it was the worst possible time because it was really stressful. The weekend we actually decided to move house. I also got pulled up to go to court on the Monday, so my job means I occasionally have to appear in court.
I was going to say, he's not in trouble.
Well, not for that.
So my job means I occasionally have to go to court to give evidence, and I had to be in Plymouth, which is a complete other end of the country, on the Monday. So we're going to move house over the entire weekend. We only managed to move house over one day, so half the stuff was still in the flat. Now, I'd ordered Mechs vs Minions a while back. They were releasing it in waves, so this is still wave 1, but it was the second shipment. So if you managed to get into wave 1, shipment 1, you got it a couple of months back. Otherwise, they said I was going to ship sometime in December. And I thought, right, that'll be end of December. Yeah, beginning of December, that'd be great. And it kept saying, oh no, we're going to ship it around about the 17th of December.
What?
And I thought, oh well, that's not going to come till after Christmas then, is it? So I'd taken the day off work for my birthday, went to watch Rogue One, fantastic day.
Good film.
Following day
Great
came
film.
in, it's waiting for me. But that night, I decided I need to come back to the old flat I was living in to grab some emergency stuff that hadn't been got on the move. So I'd set out ahead of me an hour's drive from the train station from my new job to go to the old flat and then go back home. So actually it would have been 2 hours drive. But Mechs vs. Minions appeared, this giant box.
Hurrah!
I looked at it in the office. All very pretty, very nice. But some of the best box control you've ever seen in your life. None of this putting everything in baggies. I'm not kidding, there was a slot for everything in this box.
Oh, amazing.
Already made for you.
That's nice.
And there's a lot of bits in there as well. That is a lot of
bits.
slots.
It's a big box. It's a heavy box. I get the train from Birmingham to Stratford. I get off the train, get in the car. I've got the sat nav ready to go. I start making my way to Malvern. It's dark. It's the middle of winter. I am 25 minutes out for Stratford upon Avon and go, shit! I've left Mechs vs. Minions on the train.
What an idiot.
Upon telling me this, I called Steve a variety of hilarious insults.
Yeah, you did have no sympathy for
No.
me, I must admit.
Dick.
So I pulled over in a lay-by in the middle of nowhere. I still don't actually know where it was I pulled over.
To cry.
to panic, basically. Tried to phone London Midland to see if they could find it on the lost property. Couldn't actually. It said, like, if you're on the Birmingham to London line, phone this number. If you're on the Snow Hill line, which is what I was on, please email this address. Right, okay. Looked at the train route and went, hang on, the train goes from Stratford to Birmingham, then to Kidderminster. I'm only 25 minutes from Kidderminster. Where's the train now? If you go on the live train tracker, it's 20 minutes from Kidderminster. I'm about 20 minutes from Kidderminster as well.
Foot down! Go!
Foot down, right! I got to Kidderminster 5 minutes after the train had been and gone there. I then drove back to Malvern, then went and saw John for half an hour because I needed a break, and then drove back from Malvern to Chipping Campbell. I basically spent 5 hours that night travelling.
Chasing a box around the countryside.
Around the UK.
That's dedication, that is. Or desperation, maybe.
Desperation is what it was. I knew it was a limited edition. I knew there was no chance of this thing coming out again for like another 6 months.
Yeah.
I don't know when the next shipment's going to be. It was a numbered box. It says, isn't it, like number 24,100 of 30,000. It's like, oh my God, it's Christmas. Someone's going to see that bag and go, hello.
It really is Christmas.
Yeah. Thankfully, someone handed it into lost property, and it was in Snow Hill Station lost property the following morning.
Whoever you are, if you're listening,
I love
Steve
you.
would give you a big wet kiss.
Yes. The best thing about this is the following morning I went into Snow Hill early. So this is the day before Christmas Eve. There is a queue in lost property of people who've left their Christmas shopping on the train. I'm not the only person to do this.
So what other goodies were there?
Didn't see what else was there. But it was...
Can I have my pen? And what else have you got?
The only bag I had that was big enough was a Games Workshop Warhammer bag. Mm-hmm. You've seen it. So on one side it's got the massive Age of Sigmar art. On the other side it's got this Titan on it. Mm. So it's obviously a game. If you know anything about gaming, it's obviously a game in the bag. I'm in lost property. This guy hands it back to me. There's 3 guys on London Midland staff. One of them says to me, someone's kids are happy this Christmas then. They've got their Christmas present. The other guy looked at me and goes, that's for him. That's for you, isn't it? That ain't for any kids. Yep, you can see it in his eyes, look.
Look at his cheery little grin.
So, yes.
38-year-old man-child.
So, thankfully, yes, we got Mechs vs. Minions, and I played it quite a lot over Christmas, actually. Me and Amanda played it on Christmas Day a couple of times, wrote my mum into it, and then you and Kaz came over and we played a big game of that. Now, as you alluded to, it's a scenario-based game, and all scenarios are on multiple pages, and I forgot to turn over the page for the escalation rules.
It turns out, without the escalations, it's actually quite easy.
Yeah, so what's supposed to happen is once... This one had objectives where you had to collect crystals and take them back to the base, which sounds really easy. If you've been playing Doom, move over there, grab it, come back. But when your mech is programmed to keep going around in circles, it can be quite tricky.
So the way you program it is, on each turn, you get an opportunity to add some cards to your programming of your mech. But once you've added those cards, they stay in effect. So you've got is it 5 slots? 6. 6 slots. 6er. Once you've added one of those programming cards, so say in the second one you put a go forwards one move, and then you've added one in, say, slot 4 that says turn right, for example, or turn. You can generally pick which direction you go.
Pick which direction, which is the big difference between this and Roborally.
Yeah, that's right.
You choose which direction you turn in.
But one difference is that you have to do these things. So they're locked in indefinitely then. So you're always going to, on your second phase, you're always going to move forwards, and on your fourth phase, you're always going to turn.
Right.
So as you add more cards into it, you can then add things to say, do some shooting in amongst that, or do some more turning. And as you add cards, you stack them up, you can then do more turning, so you can turn through 180 degrees or 90 degrees, or move forwards 2 instead of 1. But you always have to move forwards 2, you can't then move forwards 1. So once you stack these things up, you find you're always hurtling around the board. You quite often find yourself almost spiralling around the thing you're actually trying to get to because you can't quite get there.
So can you change the orders each turn?
No, it's locked in, and then what you can do is you can put new cards on top, and cards are in 4 different categories, which are basically fire, lightning, electric, and spanner.
So the 4 well-known elements of the Earth.
That's it.
Earth, wind, fire, and spanner.
If you stack 2 of the wrong type, then it removes the one underneath. But if you stack up to 3 of the same type, then they power up.
Yeah.
So the one on top will get like a better option. And then what you can do is 2 of the cards, when you pick them up, can be used to swap locations of cards. So you can swap 2 things. But generally, you're doing roughly the same thing every turn until you can tweak it.
Okay.
So if you played Roborally, you'll know that you reprogram every turn. So every turn you're doing something completely different. With this, you're doing something similar every turn and just trying to tweak it. It's like, right, okay, if I can just turn left now, I can pick up the objective. Or if I could fire before I move, I can kill 10 minions instead of 3 or something like that.
I see.
And you kill a lot of minions as well.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You get there must be 150 minion miniatures in this game, and
That's
you
a
need
lot.
them.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Bloody hell.
Because each minion's only got, it's a simple thing, minions have only got 1 health,
Yeah.
and every single attack does 1 damage.
Yeah.
And if you move onto a space of a minion, you kill the minion as well.
Okay.
So you're basically just ploughing through them at some point.
More of attrition, basically.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, basically. And if you end up next to a minion, though, you take some damage.
Yes.
And this is where things start to get really fun, because they typically they'll normally affect a specific slot, so you don't get to pick. Generally speaking, you don't get to pick which thing it affects.
No, because it's random. You pick up the cards, and so you have to do what it says on the card first, then roll the dice to see which slot that damage card goes into.
So it tends to do things like move you around, which quite often actually kills minions in the process.
Yes.
But then it'll lock in something like you're always going to... I think you had a rocket one or something.
I had a rocket one, which actually worked to my advantage.
Yeah.
Because the damage was actually helping me, because it was a 3 movement.
Yeah, move forwards 3 and then turn 180 degrees or something.
Yeah, so I was then programming around it, because none of my movements were going to get me that quick. So
In fact, I think both of us kept the cards that were supposed to be bad for you. It's quite handy to just randomly sidestep. Do you know, I'll keep that one. I'm not going to repair it. It does stop you upgrading anything in that slot.
Yes, you cannot do anything else to that slot without doing a repair, which is to discard a card. I think you can use the spanner or the electric to discard that.
So essentially locked in until you fix it.
Yeah.
Which means you don't end up with some of the more devastating attacks. Like there's a flamethrower, for example, which if you've just got 1 card down there, will just hurt something in front of you. If you've got 2 cards down, it hurts in a fan going out in front of you, sort of 3 things. And if you've got 3 there, it's like 9 spaces. You can take out quite a good swathe of the board, actually.
Nice. Okay, that sounds pretty fun.
Yeah.
So they're almost like Titans in Space Marine Epic, where you can affect different areas of the Titan when you shoot it. Like you can shoot its legs, or
No,
it's less complicated
it's
than that.
a lot less complicated than that. It's a very simple game.
Yeah.
Okay.
As I said, everything only has 1 health, apart from yourself.
Right.
And you have just got these 6 slots, which
Yeah.
you program things into. So that's your programming slot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The order it goes.
All right. So a minion would damage, say, slot 3, for example.
Yeah, what you do is you'll take a damage card, and then some of them actually are instant effects and get discarded, but most of them you then roll the dice to see which slot it goes into.
Okay. Sorry.
That's why there's 6
Right.
slots, so there's 6 dice as well.
So you don't damage the actual parts of the mech; you just damage its programming.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Got you.
I quite liked as well that you've got sort of... It was like a T-shape, the board that we were playing on.
Yeah.
And each time when you're the first player, you roll a dice and it tells you which direction the next wave of minions come on.
Yeah.
Or the base that's at the back that you're trying to defend, essentially, gets set on fire, as far as I could tell.
Yes.
So anyone in it takes a load of damage, which is why Steve ended up with the rocket thing.
Yeah, I got damaged on the very first round.
That's it.
But it's scenario based, and what they've done with the scenarios, which I actually don't like, come to think of it, is the scenarios are supposed to go in order. So you play these missions in order, and each mission is in an envelope.
Oh right.
So you're supposed to rip open the envelope, take out the mission, and it's usually got some extra cards in there as well, which go into the various decks.
Oh, so is this only sort of a play once?
No, because nothing gets destroyed.
Right, so once you play it once, you know what it is.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's all you're doing is you know what the next scenario is.
Yeah, and it's not like there would have been some surprises in the sense that there's a new page to find out about.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, you know what all the mechanics for that scenario are going to be when you start it.
Now, the scenario, I didn't see the point of putting the scenario in the envelope. I could see kind of the point of putting the cards in, because some of the cards add special abilities.
Right.
And it explains some more of the special abilities as you went along. Like the first mission, all you're doing is moving and shooting. Second mission, you can tow. And the third mission, you could pick things up. So what it's doing is supposed to be increasing the complexity of the game as you're going on.
It's quite a nice way to lead you through it.
Yeah.
But it does force you to be led through it, unless you just want to rip open all the envelopes, skip to the end.
Well, no, apart
And they all lived happily ever after.
Apart from the cards, I didn't really see the point of the envelopes.
Yeah.
But that could have just been a booklet.
Yeah.
Now,
true.
there is one thing. There is one sealed box inside the box. So there's a cardboard box with an axe coming out of it. And I'm not kidding, the axe is actually coming, there's a plastic axe sticking out of it, and the box is made to look like that's torn out.
That's amazing.
And the box is sealed and it says do not open.
It's really difficult. You cannot see inside it.
No.
But I do kind of get the impression it's going to contain something like Sir Kill-A-Lot.
Yes.
So it's like an Uber minion or something like that.
I think that's going to be, yeah.
It's going to be the boss of the minions,
Yeah,
surely.
it's going to be
the
some
evil
kind
mastermind or something.
So it's almost Legacy, but not quite.
Yeah, it's legacy in the way you have a progression and it's sealed items you're opening, but there's nothing gets destroyed, so you could easily just reset this and start from the beginning.
Do you think there is replayability in it then?
Yeah, I'd
Yes,
say so.
I think there is, yeah, because it's up to 4 players, and just like you were saying with Doom, the game changes with different amount of players.
Yeah.
Although this game doesn't balance, there's no changes to the mechanics, it's going to be more difficult, some of those missions with more people.
I think it's like Roborally in a lot of ways, in that even though you're playing the same courses again, because people take different actions, they put moves in different places, and the minions spawn in from different directions. There's no guarantee that. Well, in fact, you're guaranteed that it won't be the same game unless you're very careful.
Okay, that's good.
I liked it. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I would also say we mentioned all the component quality of Doom. The component quality of this is it feels like a Kickstarter game which has unlocked all its stretch goals.
Right.
Because there's tokens that you put on the board which are used just to count how many minions have been killed, and they're metal cogs.
Oh, really? Wow.
There's coins in it, and they're metal coins.
Is this game not Kickstarter? It's an off-the-shelf game?
No, it's an off-the-shelf game, but Riot Games are not putting it into distribution.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a bit of a tease, this, actually, talking about this, because we've told you about this great game, but you can't buy it.
They're going to print more.
Yeah, right now, though.
Yeah, they've managed to sell out 30,000 copies of a game in a few months.
That's impressive.
When you can think most Kickstarter, if you look at Kickstarter, you can see how many people back it, so you've got a good idea.
A couple of thousand.
A really good
usually.
Kickstarter is a couple of thousand, yeah. So 30,000 is a lot. This game has done really well already. I'd be interested to know what Fantasy Flight's print runs are at the moment.
How much did it retail for?
They do tell you.
Do they?
Yeah.
Ooh.
If you go on their website, there's a list of all of their games, and it tells you what the current status of each game is.
Yes. It
So,
does it tell you how many are being reprinted in each
I don't
print
think it gives you the numbers, but it tells you whether it's being printed or if it's in warehouse or on a boat or anything like that.
No, I'd be interested to know how many when they do another print run, how many are made.
Okay,
yeah.
sure.
Back to your question, John. It's €70 plus €7 shipping, which is
It's about 70
bargain.
quid then.
So at this
really
moment,
good.
about 70 quid, yeah. Now, bear in mind, as I said, it's not going into distribution, so that's knocking a lot. That's probably knocking about half of that price off. I think if this was put into distribution and went into brick and mortar, went into your game shop, it would be in the region of 150 quid.
Yeah.
Based on
That's
that
good
price.
value.
Because have I mentioned about the rule of fifths?
Yeah.
Rule of John's
fifths?
looking at me puzzled.
That was me wiggling my eyebrows, so they're quite quiet.
Russell.
This is a general rule of thumb I've heard, is a board game splits into fifths. So if a board game retails for £50 or £50 I equate £50 if you're in America as well.
50 currency units.
50 currency. If it sells for £50 in a shop, a brick and mortar shop, not online where they discount it, then it typically costs about £10 to manufacture. The manufacturer sells that to the distributor for £20. The distributor sells that to the shop for £30. The shop sells it for £50.
Okay.
Hence why online stores can knock another tenner off that. So
Yeah.
if you're buying it for 40 quid online, it costs 10 to make, 20 to sell, 30 to sell. I spoke to a friend of mine who works in a game shop, and he kind of went, it's not far off, based on the profit margins.
Yeah. I mean, what we see is, presumably that's all based on RRP.
That's based on RRP, yeah.
Yeah. So, for like Toys and Games in Worcester, you're going to see that, basically,
Yeah.
Whereas, obviously, other stores that may have recently relocated have the ability to reduce that further.
Well, yeah, I don't think we're as controlled as some of the American stores are. There's been this whole thing about Fantasy Flight and Privateer Press, which are War Machine, about them wanting to control the online price a bit more. So refusing to sell to some online sellers who discount too much.
That seems a bit counterproductive because the original producer wouldn't make any more money because they're selling it to a distributor for a fixed price, aren't they? Give or take.
Now, this is the difference between us and America in a way. We don't really have you'll see the term online, FLGS, friendly local game shop. We don't, in this country, we don't have the same culture of friendly local game shops.
Mm-hmm.
In America, almost every single game shop has play space.
Okay.
And if you think about the stores we go to around here, some of them have play space.
Most of them don't.
Most of them don't.
And those that do tend to be fairly empty. Or maybe it's just the time I go.
I would say the ones I know that do sometimes are not the most welcoming of stores from hygiene and odour levels.
Careful.
Yeah, I wouldn't say this is all. I'm not going to name names. There are one or two stores that stink. It's not all of them. But in America, they have this thing about, my interpretation based on what everyone says online, is most stores have play space, so people are going there to play games. And especially when it comes to miniature games, so this is what Privateer Press with the War Machine, is they want to support those brick and mortar shops because those brick and mortar shops are introducing people to the games.
Yeah, makes sense.
Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But
if you live in America, write in and tell us.
Yeah, let us know, because we are kind of interpreting this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mechs versus Minions, amazing game. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, really good.
Extremely good value for money if you
Yes.
can find a copy.
Yes. Do not. Well, wait. Be patient.
Yeah.
There'll be another print of this. I think there'll be another 30,000 being put into print.
I think we might be buying that, John.
I think this might be one of those games where all three of us end up with a copy. I think there's an extremely high chance of that.
As a tangential discussion, have you seen the new Roborally?
No.
I've seen that there is going to be one. I thought I saw some pictures someone tweeted of them playing it, and then I realised it was a much earlier edition before my current. I think I can't remember which version it is now.
We've got the third edition.
Well, there is a new version of Roborally. Has just come out. Apparently, it's available. I don't know I think it's available over in this country by the time this podcast comes out.
Okay.
I know it's available in store in America. It is not a simple reprint.
It isn't it?
It's a new version of Roborally.
Oh, so they've changed the mechanics.
So they've changed some of the rules, yes.
Okay.
There's something about now everyone has their own deck rather than having one deck that everyone draws from.
Interesting.
So there's less randomness.
Yeah. Are they different? Like, do different robots have different specs or something? I
think
wonder.
so. I think it's more that you have a little bit more control over the deck in your hand rather than getting a handful of turns.
Yeah, it is funny sometimes when someone spends an entire turn just turning around on the spot.
Yeah.
But it is quite frustrating when you're that person.
Yeah. I suppose that is. Yeah, because I mean, you could be a victim of dumb luck in Roborally.
In fact, you frequently are.
Yeah. And as you say, you could just end up spinning on a spot, and somebody else just gets a load of movement that runs straight forward. Bang! They've got the objective, and they're on the way back before you've even got off your base.
Or they've got all run forwards, and there's a pit in front of them.
Yes, exactly.
I think that's part of the charm.
Yeah.
But then I'm a bit of a chaos monkey like that. No, interesting. I'll have to look into that one in a bit more detail.
Yeah, totally. Because we've both got Roborally. Have you got Roborally, Steve?
I do not have Roborally because John's got it, so I didn't.
He's got a John.
Yeah,
John.
John's got a copy. Why do I need to it?
Fair point.
More games. More games.
More games.
More
So,
games.
another game me and John played just before Christmas.
I can't help but feel isolated here.
You were invited?
And was I?
Yes.
Oh.
Probably.
Actually, no, you were invited when we played Mechs versus Minions.
Yeah.
I was, but I wasn't around, annoyingly. Yeah.
You could have reprioritised. It's your own fault.
It is, yes. Oh, well. Actually, it's not my
Could have even
fault.
got John to drive you and tan into my whiskey collection as well.
No, I couldn't come because I was otherwise engaged here. Running a D&D session.
Oh, right.
Oh, right, okay.
Not that then. Okay. Or is that another... No, never mind.
No. Anyway.
There was role-playing involved.
I feel dirty. And so did Andy.
You are dirty.
You walked into that.
That's what she said. Right. So, we played some games.
In a complete switch, we played a very wholesome and family-friendly game.
Really?
Yeah, Timeline.
Yeah.
What's that then?
Well, we played the British version. Is it British history version, I think it's called, or UK history version. I can't actually remember off the top of my head.
I think it might have been UK.
Yeah. Not that it makes much difference to most of the world.
No.
It does to us. It's important to us.
Yes.
Very
gosh darn it.
important, apparently.
Yeah. So Timeline is a game that's actually been out for some time, and they've done numerous versions of this. The beauty of which you can actually mix and match. You can put lots of different versions together if you want. The idea of the game is you quite literally build up a timeline. So you start by putting an event down. And these cards are double-sided, so they both show a name of the event, a little picture, and one side says the year and one doesn't.
Yeah, you deal out the cards between everyone, so everyone's got a load of these.
Right.
So one gets placed out as like your kind of central point, and then from then on, everyone has to put cards into the line at where they think it happened.
Okay, right.
So the first one that went out, maybe World War II gets announced. So you flip that first one over, it gives you a year.
Yeah.
And you don't look at the back of your cards, you only look at the front and go, right, did the events I've got happen before or after that?
Okay.
So at the beginning of the game, it's quite easy. You just, did Stonehenge get built before or after World War II? Well, that's pretty easy.
Clearly. I was good at this game.
But as the game progresses, it gets more and more complicated, because I think the word I use in the review, it gets more and more granular.
Yeah.
So you start thinking, well, hang on, when did Sir Isaac Newton formulate the theory of gravity? Was that before or after the use of gunpowder in such and such? Yeah, well, you would be really good at this then. This is, of course, the British version, so it's all British-related things. There's a few, if you're not British, you're not going to get, but most of them, I thought, were...
When was tea discovered, for example?
Don't remember that one.
That one wasn't on there, I don't think. But
This is supposed to be British, damn it! Please tell me the invention of crumpets is involved.
We didn't get to that one, but...
we didn't go for the entire deck. It's possible it was in there, but we didn't see it.
But I think I quite enjoyed it, but I did realise, I already had an inkling of this, but it turns out I'm absolutely fucking useless at history. So you're trying to place some of these cards, and there's already some set points down. So there's something in the 1400s, there's something pretty recent, there's something 100 years ago, and I'm sat there looking at whatever it was, I don't know, someone inventing the atom bomb or something like that. Whatever it was, I'm just looking at it well, I'm pretty sure it's between that thing, and you can see other people smirking already. And so it's after that thing? It's definitely after that thing then, and they smirk some more, and then I realise they're just smirking because I don't have a clue where it goes in history. It could have been any time. I'm pretty sure it was after the car, right? Okay, after the car. No, you're an idiot. Fine, I'm an idiot.
So if you put a card down and put another card around it, for example, can you insert one?
You just move the line around,
Right, okay.
Yeah, and if you got it wrong, you discard that card goes into the discard pile, and have to draw another card.
Yeah.
Right.
So first person to enter their hand wins.
Yeah, so when you put it down, it does actually tell you exactly when it was.
Right.
You just can't, you don't know yourself.
Yeah.
Right,
so you've only got one side of the card that you can see. So.
Sure, and then the back of the card is the one with the date on it, so everyone else can see. Right, okay, I see.
So you put it down, flip it over, and see if you're right, basically.
Right, okay.
Say it's going into there, flip, this card.
I'd like to say I learned something from the game about when these things happen, but I've got such an awful memory, I can't remember what we decided. But it is, if nothing else, even if you're awful at history like I am, it was quite interesting just to find out a bit more history. And I suppose that's one of the points of the game, It's a good way to get kids, definitely,
Yeah.
to find out a little bit more about, what happened and when.
Interesting. So is it quite a quick game then?
Yeah, about
Yeah.
15 minutes
Okay.
tops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you agonise over every single bloody card.
Yeah, and it got... In some ways, it got more difficult as the game went on as well.
Definitely.
Because
Yeah.
with more cards on, you had to be more accurate.
Yeah, if you only need to know whether it was before 1500 or after 1500.
Yeah. Although I did have the Stonehenge card.
Yes.
And I kept that right to the end. Because it's obvious that's going to be the first card on the timeline. So I just kept hold of that. I'm like, right, okay, wait until I've just got this one card left and boom, done.
That's how Britain was formed. Stonehenge came out of the ocean and Britain grew around it.
I would say it is a trivia game in a way.
Yeah,
Right.
I would say so,
And
definitely.
With all trivia games, eventually you're going to know the answers, and I think you're going to learn the answers for this quicker than you would for, say, Trivial Pursuit.
Most people would remember the answer.
Most people know the answers. Now, as I said earlier, the one great thing is you can add more sets in, so get some of the other sets and mix them up.
Okay.
But of course, that means you're going to have to buy some more sets.
Yeah, makes sense.
Complete tangent. Have you seen what happened to Trivial Pursuit? The news this week.
No.
No.
Somebody decided to change it from imperial to metric. I think I've got this right. So they need to change miles to kilometres.
Right.
So someone just did a find and replacing word.
Oh, brilliant. Did a space shuttle crash by any chance?
No, but there are several questions which are the word kilometres appears in the middle of a word because they haven't.
Oh, right, I see. It's not just that the actual units in terms of, how many miles was this thing.
No, they just did a complete find and replace, so it did in the middle of words and everything.
That's amazing.
Brilliant.
They didn't check the only find full words
Yeah.
box. Oh, that's impressive.
Also-
They ruined their milestones.
Yeah. No, you're more similar is that have you heard the Ant and Deck board game?
No?
There was an Ant and Deck Saturday Night
grief.
Takeaway board game, of
Oh, right.
course.
Oh, yeah.
We'd never played this thing, but it had trivia questions in, and the answers were wrong. Like the example they gave was one of the questions was, what is the distance between the Earth and the Moon?
385,000 kilometres, give or take.
So it's not 525 miles then.
No.
Let's hope not.
No, it is not.
So yeah, there was apparently a lot of wrong questions in it. Poorly researched, shall we say.
Wow, that is a hell of a mistake to make.
Yeah.
500 miles. The Proclaimers could get to the moon and back.
If you threw it hard enough, you could probably get a cow over it.
Trebuchet. So
yeah.
timelines, how much is Timeline? I assume it's not particularly expensive.
15 quid, I think it was. Yeah.
Okay.
Comes in a
That's
nice
good.
little tin.
Yeah.
Yes. Excellent.
It was fun. Personally, I don't think I would buy it. I think the playability is kind of limited, and
Yeah.
I'm not really a trivia kind of game guy, mostly because I've got such an awful memory. But also, most people's idea of trivia is not the cross-section that I have.
No.
History being one of my poor subjects.
Yeah, I was pretty lousy at history at school as well.
It was fun, though. Definitely fun.
Interesting.
Nice little
But
game.
probably
yeah.
better for kids, as you suggest, maybe.
Kids and people who it's not going to be your hardcore board game market.
No.
It's. I think I could have played this with my mum and dad, for instance, at Christmas.
Yeah.
And probably should have played it with my mum rather than Mechs versus Minions.
But you wanted to play Mechs versus
I really
Minions,
wanted
let's
to
be
play
honest.
Mechs versus Minions, yeah.
You made the right choice.
Yeah.
Excellent. Oh, that's good.
Now, one thing we haven't mentioned so far in this episode, and Board Deck and Dice would be very happy if we mentioned it. And what's that, John?
What are you talking about?
Oh, well, okay, never mind.
Oh, you mean Talisman? And it turns out we might actually get a chance to play it soon.
Yeah, John's trying to convince me to play it. I've resisted so far, but I think I should probably know my enemy and
It's not your
and give
enemy.
it a go. and take Sun Tzu's advice,
You're going to love it. You're going to love it, and then you're going to hate yourself for it.
and then I'll hate you for it. I will give it a go at some point.
I hope Board Deck and Dice realises if he hadn't just tweeted that we haven't... he's not listening if we mentioned Talisman, we wouldn't have mentioned it.
Genuinely not thought about it. No. I must be sick still.
You are sick, John. Are you ill as well?
So, we shall leave that for a future episode.
Indeed.
It's going to be interesting to know what Andy's thoughts are. We are going to do, in the next episode, we're going to look at what games in the coming year we're most excited about. So that's going to be our hot list for 2017. We were thinking of doing it today on the end of this podcast and realised that we're probably going to talk for a good 2 hours on that subject. So
in all likelihood, yeah. It's time for another one.
Yeah. So we thought we'd do a recap. So thank you very much for listening.
You're welcome.
As per usual. I didn't even introduce you two again.
You didn't.
I just started.
Unbelievable.
Honestly, he moves house, he messes around Christmas, he gets early, he ignores us. I think we should mutiny.
I don't think he loves us anymore, you know.
No. Did he ever?
Do I need to introduce you to... Well, in case you want to know, I'm Steve.
I'm Andy.
And I'm John.
We really should have done it at the beginning of the episode, but and I can't be asked editing that in, so...
You can't even say it.
I can't even say it. It's probably best time I stop now. I'm stuttering now.
But your lives are now forever enriched knowing which voices have a name.
Yes. As I said, thank you very much for listening. Everyone please go, please go to our Board Game Geek Guild. So that's our forums. Because at the moment we've got 6 members.
Hooray! 3 from us.
We're popular.
No, one of you two hasn't joined yet.
I think it's me, actually.
So yeah, so 6 members, only 2. It's just a poor show.
This is how bad it is that even the podcast members can't be bothered to join.
What our own bloody podcast crew can't be asked joining their own bloody guild on Board Game Geek.
I've got this nasty feeling it's me, actually.
I think it is you. I can't remember if I have joined, but I probably have. Because I am a member of Board Game Geek.
I've got to admit, you've got to get your head around Board Game Geek first, which it's quite interesting actually. I'm going to go on a bit of a tangent. I've been using Board Game Geek for years, and it almost put me off the hobby in a way because it's such a horrible website.
It is. It's really, really poorly designed. It's very hard to navigate.
Yeah, it's full of great data, but
yeah, I'm not sure it's poorly designed. I think it's one of those sites that's evolved, and now, like many of the best pieces of software, it has many tentacles and lots of spaghetti in the middle.
They keep saying they're going to update it, and they did update the game pages this year. Like completely revised them, and so instead of looking like it was designed in 2001, it now looks like it was designed in 2011. So improvements have been made.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say 2002. It's almost like a website of 2 halves. It really is, depending on which bit you go to. Yeah, the formatting of it is really strange.
It's an odd website, but we have got a forum there.
Hooray!
And I know a lot of people do use it. I know a lot of people listen to us via
6 of them.
So
no. A lot.
A lot of people listen to the podcast via Board Game Geek, but not all of them go to the guild. So if you'd like to go to guild number... I've already forgotten the bloody number myself, haven't I? Oh.
Just talk amongst yourselves.
Epic fail.
Do 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 do.
If you'd like to go to Board Game Geek Guild number 2726, so that's boardgamegeek.com/guild/2726.
2726.
There'll be 6 people waiting for you to talk to.
Eagerly. 7 if I go and join.
However, if you really do want to chat to us, the best place to get us is on Twitter, because we're always on Twitter. So I am at Polyhedron C.
I'm at Sonic H with a 0.
And I'm at John_Cage.
And we also are on Facebook, facebook.com/Polyhedron Collider. We do tend to reply to any thoughts you have there. If you have any questions for future episodes, send them to any of those places.
Yep.
We're more than happy to answer them. We like questions.
Or all of them if you prefer.
Yeah. And if you're feeling particularly generous, go leave us a review on iTunes.
A nice one.
Yeah.
Not a bad one.
Well, anyone, to be honest. As long as it's constructive.
Yes. Anyway, until next episode, which hopefully should be in a couple of weeks. Tatty bye.
Ta-ra.
Bye for now.